Welcome to Witchcast!
Cause it's Witchcast!
I'm Emily.
I'm Kate.
And we're your co-hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast.
That's right. We're your learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spiritual, witchy umbrella.
Yeah, and what a beautiful umbrella it is.
It's gorgeous.
Truly. So large and pretty and sparkly. And today we have a very special guest.
That's right. We're so happy to welcome into the studio a good friend who's a comedian, a baker, Aaron Porchia. Welcome.
Yay. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming. So I'm really happy to have you. I've known you for years from the sketch scene. I mean, and I'm actually really surprised you and Emily haven't crossed paths because we've all been involved in the People's Improv Theater for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I have worked with your husband Ian for a long time with our sketch team Road Pizza. May she rest. I know I miss the sketch team days. And I put out a call, a little behind the scenes, peek behind the curtain. I put out a call a while ago, several months ago, of just wanted to see who of my comedy friends is into witchy stuff.
And it was when we were going to do the Witchcast 100th anniversary special.
Exactly.
100th anniversary. You know what I mean? 100th episode.
100th episode.
We've been doing this 100 years.
100
we really
years.
are witches.
Oh, man. I wish. I mean, we are witches, but I wish we were 100 years. No, I don't, actually. But
Something to think about.
Something to think about. That's a thinker. But Ian, I think, was the one who posted and tagged you and was like, oh, Aaron's really into witchy stuff. So I was so surprised to hear that because I've known you for a while, but I did not know that you were a fellow witchy person.
Yeah, my husband's always the one who's like, oh, Aaron, you do this thing. Remember you do this thing. He reminds me,
He's
too.
like your manager. He's like your
That's
publicist.
So sweet.
He really is. And I try not to pump his head up in that way too much because he already feels like he's my manager.
That's so sweet, though. That's what partners are for. They're there to talk you up. Yeah. So tell us how do you identify as a witch? First of all, what does that term mean for you?
I identify as witchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can say I'm full-fledged witch because if I was, I'd be a very lazy, very informal one, which I guess I can say about lots of things that I do.
Word, feel that.
But yeah,
yes.
I'm definitely very witchy.
I think there's a lot of space for I don't know, the lazy, chaotic witch of witches of the world.
I feel like you're looking at two of them right now.
Yeah, that's kind of us in a lot of ways. Despite having over 100 episodes of a podcast about witchcraft, we're still finding our way in this world.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that there's a really big, connotation with witches that they have to be witchy every single day of their lives, and I just don't think that's feasible. And I feel like we've gotten a lot of feedback from our listeners, that they really enjoy this kind of more accessible approach to witchcraft because you still have to live your life. You still have got to go to work, pay the bills, scroll on fucking TikTok. You can't always be at the cauldron,
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, we're validating you. You are validated, Aaron. Maybe you'll come out of this conversation feeling more of a witch.
You
Not
know
just
what?
witchy,
I
but
already am
witch-tacular,
feeling more of a witch just from that little bit of validation.
Good. We're gonna make a
Love that.
we're gonna add you to our coven. Just wait.
You're in the fold now, whether you want it or not.
So how do you tell us what makes you witchy? What are some little things that you like to do? What are some things that you're into?
So I've always been a very sensitive person just to my environment. I've always just known stuff. And I used to say that when I was younger. I was I just know things. But I really do just sometimes know things without explanation. And I've always been a fan of magic or the idea of magic and just kind of being connected to the world and the universe. So when I got older, I was well, witches are things. That's a thing that people do. How can I incorporate this into my life? And so, yeah, I just started going to spirit stores and started buying candles and incense and, started doing my own thing at home, buying books and stuff. So that's how it started. But it
Nice.
definitely developed from this feeling that I've always had since I was like a little kid. And I was like, I just kind of know stuff. I always felt like super connected to things and I couldn't explain it. But yeah, when I got older, I kind of had a better sense of what that could be.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta follow that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And have you talked about this at all with your family? Like, what was your family life like growing up? Were they at all open to that, nurtured that kind of more esoteric spirituality side of you? Were they religious at all? What was that like?
Absolutely not. So it's so funny. So my mom grew up a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, wow.
And my dad grew up, there goes the dog.
Oh, dog.
Aw.
Oh, yeah, there will
Sweet
be dogs
rattle of
here.
a dog noise.
I love it.
So yeah, my mom grew up Jehovah's Witness and my dad grew up Catholic. And I grew up just nothing. I didn't grow up in a very strictly religious house. But because my parents grew up devoutly religious, there was this general understanding that magic was a no-go. It just had this darkness attached to it. They didn't stop me from reading things like Harry Potter or watching Halloween Town or anything like that. But if ever I had my little book open in a corner and I was like casting, which, I was an only child, so of course I was playing witch in the game room.
Right. When there's no one else to play with, you can play with the universe.
Yes.
As an only child who thought I could talk to the wind and was getting messages from when the shower went cold.
Yes. But like my dad would be like, oh no, don't do that. That is not a thing. We don't play with that. So there was always this understanding that like witchy, magic-y, otherworldly, esoteric things were not that it wasn't okay, but it made them a little scared.
Yeah.
But I always knew it was just because of the way that they were raised. And I was like, well, if you're not raising me in that same way, then clearly it's fine. You just got to come around to it.
That's really cool, though, that they were, it made them uncomfortable, but they weren't trying to, extend that dogma that they were raised under as well. So, like, they were actually, in a way, it sounds like they were trying to break that kind of generational trauma in a sense, in their own way. That's really impressive. That's cool.
I remember I hate giving that JK lady all this attention, but
yeah,
I remember when, I forget which book it was, came out, and I was always that kid that had to get it the day it came out.
Of course.
And I was at my grandma's house, who was still a practicing Jehovah's Witness, and my mom brought it into the house. She kind of snuck it in. Wow. Sorry, the dog.
Never apologize for the dog.
Dogs be dogging.
I freaked out that she brought this book into my grandma's house. I was like, oh no, this is not good. She's gonna freak out. It's gonna be this whole thing. My mom's like, it's fine. It's just a book.
Oh, good. Wow.
But yeah. So they were always okay with me exploring those things because I always was a big fan of magic-y, woohoo-y things.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like we can say, Harry Potter was really popular when we were kids. We didn't know, and she sucks, and we both of those things can be true.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I was very distracted by the adorable dog in your background.
I know. I also, I feel like I had to power through, not just being like doggy.
Wait, Aaron, can you please send us pictures of your dogs to post on our socials so then our viewers can know what we're seeing while they're listening. I love posting pictures of our guest pets. Yes, JK's a TERF and fuck her, but Harry Potter was so influential in so many of us in our lives, and so it's very hard to separate that. And yeah, I mean, I was the same. I was always there day of in line at midnight in costume, so I feel you.
Yeah. My extremely Roman Catholic godfather would get the books for me, which never talked about it, never even thought about it. Was he cool with that? I guess he was.
Yeah.
But every time one came out, he'd pick one up because he lived half the year in Italy. Super Roman Catholic.
Wow, Rome.
And so
Roman
he would
Catholic.
Get them in Britain on the way back to my hometown when they were, so get them before they came out here sometimes.
So you also probably got the English versions versus the American versions because they changed some things. I know in the text.
But in Canada, I grew up in Canada.
Oh, right. Sorry. I always forget.
In Canada, we get the British versions anyway, because we use the same spellings for the most part. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right. I know so much in my heart of hearts, and like Emily's one of my bestest friends. Like I know you're Canadian, but my ethnocentrism of being American just like always forgets.
No, it's like a lot of people forget that we're like a separate country.
I'm like, how do you not know this like 90s commercial from America, Emily?
I've still never seen all that. I would love to. We didn't have it.
It's not worth. It's fine. It's fine.
I sat here and I was like, I do not understand any of the references anyone is making.
You mean you don't know what the making of corn is?
Oh my god!
No, I have no idea. And it feels like it's late for me to start. You know?
It's only funny because if you like knew it as a kid. Like as an adult, it sucks. Like it's terrible. I tried to watch shows now as an adult.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I think maybe Hey Arnold probably still holds up.
We did have Hey Arnold, and I did really like that.
Yeah.
And it probably on some level influenced me to be like, I could live in New York. Hey Arnold was in New York.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
I mean, Hey Arnold's bedroom? God. Amazing.
Dream.
Okay, before we go too off topic. So then you started you said
we're on a podcast.
We're on a podcast. You about witch things. So you mentioned that you started to get some witchy books as well, and going of course to like spirit esoteric stores. I think that's like a very common journey for a lot of us and a lot of our listeners. Do you remember, were there any specific books at all that you really loved or were really memorable to you, in your journey?
So it's not necessarily a like spell book or a book like about the practice. It was a memoir. It's by Augustine Burroughs, who you might remember from Running with Scissors. He wrote a book called Toil and Trouble, and it's about his journey and history being a witch. And it was something that he shared with his mom growing up, and that he continued to practice into adulthood. And I came across that book, I want to say, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. Could have been longer. Who knows? What is time? And I was already a fan of his writing, and I came across that book and I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that. Oh my gosh, yes, that as well. And I really enjoyed I enjoyed his relationship with his practice. It was very like, unburdened. It was, this is how dude, this dog is killing me. It was very natural. It wasn't a lot of formalized practice, even though he did have like a formal practice. It was something just very natural to him. And so it was a very enlightening book for me. So that was like the first book that I had that kind of opened my eyes to the world of witchiness as an adult.
That's so cool. I haven't heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we can add it to our list of resources on the witchcastpodcast.com website.
Yeah, please check us out at witchcastpodcast.com. Okay, so tell us how you like to practice today, Aaron. So like what kind of ways do you like to incorporate your witchiness in your day-to-day now as an adult?
So now I really am into candle magic. I like to set aside time to set intentions. I'll like go into a quiet room. I'll play some music. I'll like center myself with my Tibetan sound bowl, write out intentions, manifestations. And I'll find the candle that kind of correlates with what I'm going for color-wise. And then I'll sit in meditation around that thought. So I do that not as frequently as I would like, but that's like my main form of practice. I also do a lot of smudging, mostly Palo Santo. I enjoy Palo. So smudging, candles, some tarot. I'm not very disciplined with that. I really just am like, I just feel like pulling a card today, and then I have to like look up what that card usually means because I don't know what anything means.
We love Biddy Tarot. We are always on there. Even when we interpret something ourselves when we draw a card, we still look it up on Biddy Tarot to make sure that like we covered everything, because
It's a lot.
You know, it's a lot to remember if you're not doing tarot like professionally or anything.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like back in an art history class, which, by the way, I dropped out of the only art history class I took in college.
Oh my god, I got like I think I got a C in my only art history course, and it was like Asian art history.
I did not take any art history. I envy you guys your knowledge of the history of art.
Oh my god! But it was like ancient art history, so it was only up to 1000 BC. So it was literally just stone statue of Buddha after stone statue of Buddha, and I was like, and it was like after lunch in a dark lecture hall. I slept most classes. It was.
That's a hard combo.
Does the famous lady with the like big tits fall into is that 1000 BC or earlier?
You know what? If there was a famous lady with big tits, I would have paid more attention, I feel like, to that class.
There's like a famous statue of like a lady with big tits. I don't know.
I wish.
I don't know what to tell you.
The only one I remember was the 1,000 Soldiers, that famous. It was oh god, look at me trying to like dig into this was like over 15 years ago now, but like the Chinese soldiers that were buried underground, that was like the 1,000 clay soldiers. It's in Animal Crossing.
So you're using it in your daily life, like second math.
Look at that second math. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Tarot.
Tarot cards. Yeah, how Aaron likes to practice.
Yeah, back to our guest. No, I mean, look, Emily and I did a whole series breaking down each suit and the major arcana. We've been reading tarot for years and years and years, and we still have to look up the full. There's just because there's so much depth to the cards. There's so many different ways to interpret them. So also sometimes brain don't work good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So often, in fact.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Nope, it's gone.
Aaron, Emily? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was like, did we lose Aaron?
I'm here.
Aaron hung up. Aaron was like, we're anyway. Okay, I love it. Well, let's talk more about your candle magic and setting intentions and manifesting. Because
yeah, wait, that's what I was going to ask about. Sorry, yes. Yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to say you, Emily. You ask. Go for it.
No, I have a very specific question, which is just you said that you choose a candle that has like a color that sort of correlates to the intention you want to set. But I wanted to ask, do you like Google that, or is that something that you have, like, do you feel it out? Do you have like a personal system about like which color means what? I mean, I feel like there's some that are sort of overarching, but a lot of people interpret them differently. So curious.
Yeah. So in one of the books that I have, which I wish I could remember what it was called, it has kind of like a breakdown of generally what each color can represent. So I kind of use that as the foundation for when I'm practicing with candles. But sometimes if I'm just like drawn to a specific candle for whatever reason, I'll use that one for that like session.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to talk to you more also about, setting intentions and manifesting, because I'm really interested. I don't think we've really gone too deep into the differences between the two. And honestly, I don't think I've even personally really thought about what those two words really mean and what is the difference between those. So I'm curious, like, do you find in your practice, do you find there's a difference, first of all? And if so, like, how does that manifest for you? Like, what does that practice kind of look like in terms of like setting an intention versus manifesting? Is there a difference? I'm just curious if you can kind of like go into that a little further.
I feel like the lines get a little bit blurred, but when I'm going in trying to set an intention, I'm looking more for like guidance. I'm looking for direction and clarity. And so I kind of focus my energies on that. Whereas manifesting, I am kind of open to the desire more. So it's less looking for guidance and more like bringing the thing to me. And I feel like I find myself setting intentions more so than manifesting. I find myself sitting down to practice when I'm looking for clarity in something and I'm trying to find a direction. and I feel like it's a little bit more meditative and opening myself to like whatever my surroundings are telling me. Whereas manifesting, it's kind of like I'm just putting this out there, and yeah.
I love that. That is such a really, I think that's a beautiful way to delineate between the two.
Yeah, totally. It's like setting an intention is more like what you do and what you put out versus like manifestation is more like what comes in or like, you know, what you ask for as opposed to what you give. Does that make right?
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes I have to like remind myself when I sit down, I'm like, am I trying to manifest something or am I setting an intention to seek something out? And then if that answer is not clear to me, I have to like refocus and ask myself, what did I sit down for? What is the actual goal of this practice right now? And that's really helpful.
Oh, I love that. That is really wise. I feel like that's a really, really good question and practice to have. I don't feel like I do that enough or really at all. I feel like that's really, you know, I feel like it sounds like from what you've been describing through this, you know, through our conversation, you have really strong intuition. And I remember because you and Ian and I recently saw each other a few weeks ago that you're both Pisces.
We are.
Double Pisces marriage. So you've already like you got strong intuition as a Pisces, I'm sure. And so it seems like you have really strong, you know, inclination towards listening to that, which is I think a really hard skill set to learn for a lot of people. I know that is something I'm always trying to work on. And so I think a lot of, at least for me, I'll speak for me because I don't want to speak for others, but it's a common inclination for me to want, right? To desire. So I always feel like I want to manifest more, but it's, I'm like, give me money, please. You know? So I think that's such a great reminder to reset, to settle in and really ask yourself, like, what is the goal, and to look for a direction, to look for clarity, to think about, like, you know, the intention versus the manifestation. I love that. I really love that.
Yeah, totally. Like what do I want and why? And is it the right thing? Am I on the right path here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I feel draws me to like personal practice is being able to have that self-examination that doesn't always really happen in, you know, traditional spiritual practices and religions that I grew up around. And I was always like very critical of. I'm just a very self-aware person, and having that be a part of my spiritual practice is really important for me.
I love that. Can I ask you, do you know your rising and your moon?
So yeah, I'm a Pisces sun, a Pisces rising, and a Scorpio moon.
Wow.
So you got a lot of water energy going on here.
Yeah. Is that a lot of big feelings or?
You know what? I do have a lot of big feelings, but I also feel like I'm just like I'm very sensitive to feelings. Not necessarily that I'm always feeling them. I'm just very aware.
Yeah. A lot of intuition for sure.
Yeah. Deep waters. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
love that. Wait, what is Ian's triad? What is his 3?
I actually don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what his 3 are.
He'll have to tell us later. He'll have to like comment on our social posts and let us know.
The people are dying to know.
Yeah, the people are dying to. Well, I think it's just always really fascinating to meet a couple who are the same sign. Like, I think that's always such a fascinating dynamic, you know.
Well, I feel like kind of a rarity. I mean, maybe like statistically, it's just like, you know, it's 1 out of 12, so the odds of them both maybe it's not but I don't know. I feel like I don't meet a lot of people that are married to the same sign.
Yeah.
No.
Like literally 3 weeks apart. I want to say 2 weeks apart.
Wow. So do you do like a joint birthday or do you separate it out?
Oh, we separate it out because we're birthday monsters.
Good.
Your monsters take up like the whole week. It's like, well, it's my birthday week, so you have to do this, and you have to walk the dogs, and I'm not going to walk the dogs, and you have to do this.
Beautiful.
Yes, perfect.
So I'm in that week right now. So he's getting to live with the monster.
Amazing.
Oh, your birthday's like right around now then.
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
Do you, so when you, because I wanted to like go a little deeper before we go back to candle magic, because I do want to talk a little further about that. You know, you mentioned the knowing. Do you feel like your intuition, that knowing, has that popped up through your life of just kind of like, you know, truly like knowing like, oh, I shouldn't do this thing, and then, or I should do this thing, and then something happens that confirms that knowing.
I knocked over the microphone. But yeah, I've had moments in my life where I've just kind of had a feeling and then it has come to pass. I have two memories specifically that always stick out to me. One was more recently. Ian and I were in California visiting family, and I'm an anxious flyer. He knows this. I just don't like flying. But, you know, when I know it's going to happen, I just like give in to the situation. But I woke up this morning and I was like, we are not flying today. I was just, we're not going anywhere. And he's like,
wow.
Well, Aaron, I know you're, I was like, it's not anxiety. We're just like not, I don't feel like we're flying today. And he's like, okay. And he knows when I like get into a space to like pay attention, because usually the thing will happen. And we got to the airport and our plane broke down.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so we ended up just going back home, and people were still waiting, and they were like, oh, well, they're trying to fix it. And I was like, I'm not going to wait for them to fix it. We're not flying today. And we ended up going home, rebooking. And in the middle of the night, we got an email from them saying, oh yeah, well, that flight ended up just getting completely canceled because they couldn't fix the plane.
You knew.
I knew. And then there was a time in high school, and this was really weird. I was in Spanish class. It was sophomore year. And one of my classmates was standing in front of me, and I just looked at her and I was like, you're going to break your leg. And she's like, why would you say that? I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Break your leg. And I kid you not. I swear to you, I was leaving the choir room at the end of the day, and someone came up to me and they said, Aaron. I was like, what? They said, Amanda broke her leg in gym today. I was like, you're freaking lying. And she came back to school the next day in a cast because she broke her leg in gym that very day.
Wow. That's wild.
It was
You're a witch.
Witch.
It was one of the most bizarre things ever, but I couldn't even tell you why I said it. I was like, you're going to break your leg. It just came out.
It just came through you.
Yeah.
We have a psychic medium friend that we've had on the show several times, Emily Grow, and she says that one of her sayings is that we're straws. Mm-hmm. And so like the universe just funnels messages through us sometimes. So you just had a download that just came right through you.
Yeah.
You have very strong intuition. You have very, very strong intuition. That's amazing.
I feel like it's all that time I spent at home alone, just listening to the spirit wind. Being an only child, just communicating with myself and the walls.
I actually do feel like that might be a good explanation, because I feel like I have a little bit of that too, but I always just thought it was because I spoke to the wind, you know.
Yeah, that's so poetic. You two are like little Miyazaki characters. It's adorable.
Spend a lot of time with the dust bunnies. They start to tell you things, you know.
I love it. Okay, I want to redirect back to the candle magic thing, because I love this. And you know, we've talked a little bit about candle magic, but this was several seasons ago, I think. So with the candle magic, I love that you use this for intention setting and kind of meditative practice as well as manifesting. So walk me through like what a typical ritual would be like for you. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to lead you. Just tell us what you typically like to do.
So I will turn on some music, something that's calming. No lyrics, just instrumental. I'll always go into a room. I'll dim the lights. I'll pick out my candles. And I usually will use about 3 candles. It's never just one. And I'll set up my sound bowl. I'll bring out my like journal, my like Magic-y journal where I like to write things. I'll sit on the floor. I'll light some incense or I'll smudge. But I have to burn something just to like clear the space. And then I'll use the sound bowl to just center myself and get myself in a clear headspace so that my intention or whatever I'm sitting down for is clear to me. And then I'll write it down. And then whatever I write down, that's what I'll chant to myself. And not very loudly, just like to myself. I'll just chant whatever I've written down. And it doesn't have to be consistent. Sometimes I'll just sit with it. And then I'll start chanting again. And by the end of the practice, I will burn that page or save it, depending on if it's something that I want to come back to as a reminder. But usually I'll burn it in my little like conch shell that I'm like burning incense and things in. Oh, and I'll also bring in crystals or gems that I have that I feel support my intention in that moment.
I love that. That's
Aaron.
That's beautiful.
I hate to tell you this, but girl, you a straight up witch. You a total witch. That's amazing. That's a beautiful ritual. That's so nice.
Well, thank you.
I love that idea too of like, of letting the message come to you as part of the ritual and then like working that in organically and then either releasing it through burning it, or saving it. I really, really love that. I feel like I'm so precious. This is something I feel like we've talked about before. Like it's journaling so hard for me because I'm always like, everything has to be perfect. I have to save it forever. But I love that idea of releasing it. That's so nice.
Because I'm also very precious with things. And the act of releasing something is very cathartic for me because in my day-to-day life that I'm not like that.
Well, I love it. That's such a beautiful practice. Emily, I wanted to ask Aaron about his business, but do you have any other questions for Aaron about his practice?
My question was also going to be about the business, but it's going to be, you know what? I feel like we're going to ask Lucy the same thing. Go for it.
Well, you go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
so
the same
Aaron,
person.
We could probably just do this entire podcast in unison if we like really synced up. Like if we just sat next to each other.
Should we be Siamese twins?
We can just... Anyway, Aaron, so you recently started a bakery business.
I did.
That's very exciting. Can you tell us about it? And also, like, any witchiness around it? Do you
yes.
How do you fit your practice in around it? Did you do any setting of intentions
it?
in the building of it? And also just like tell us about your bakery.
Yes.
So I definitely set this in motion and manifested this a couple years ago. Yeah. When I was like really heavy into my practice and was a lot better about setting time aside to sit down and manifest and set intentions and do my whole woohoo haha. It was at the height of the pandemic when we were still, or maybe not locked down. Maybe it might have been right when things were starting to open up again. And I had just quit my job for 5 years. I was an after-school program director. And towards the end of it, I just was so miserable. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I left that job and had a string of other weird jobs that didn't really fit. I mean, they weren't weird. They just didn't fit for me. I, sat down and drew out my intentions. I was like, Aaron, what do you want to be doing? What brings you joy? What can you monetize? And I finagled my way into a job at a bakery that I worked at for a year. until that was a little ridiculous. And I was like, I can do this on my own from home, or at least I want to try. And so I just took the plunge. I quit my job at the bakery and started selling things from home. And so I've been doing that for like 5 months now, I want to say.
Amazing.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And does it have an Instagram page, the bakery?
Yes, yeah. How can we hire you? And
what is the name of the bakery?
Buy your cakes.
So the bakery is called Le Fruity Baker, Lefrooty. And that's my handle on Instagram. And then lefruitybaker@gmail.com is my email address, where I take orders there or in my DMs.
Nice. Amazing.
Congratulations.
So cool.
Yeah.
Baby bakery. Like, so tell us the magic. Like, so how did you like work in when you were first kind of starting off on your own, you know,
the spark of the idea.
Yeah. How did witchiness kind of, your intention setting, your manifesting, how did that come into play?
It was a lot of sessions with my citrine.
Yes, citrine.
Just kind of sitting and rocking and being quiet enough to hear the voices dissipate and listen to what the universe was telling me to do. I get very in my head, and I was like, oh, I can't start a new job. I can't go off into this new venture. And so it's just like a lot of meditation, a lot of meditating with the knowing that I wasn't happy with what I was doing, but not exactly knowing what it was I needed to do or desired to do next. So yeah, it was just a lot 100%. Of meditating and petting my crystals, waiting for the right signs to come.
I love that. When I'm like really lost, I have this little like, it's like, what's this shape called? Do you remember, Kate?
It's a tower.
A tower. I have a little tower of Labradorite, and I find myself sitting here like holding it on my forehead like a unicorn horn, trying to like hear the universe. It's not even intentional. Sometimes I'll just be sitting here like.
You have to take a picture now of you doing that so we can post that on our social. So our listeners can see that.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, honestly, I think so many people are in that exact situation that you were in, Aaron. And like, I think like, and I know people I'm directly connected to and like myself who are trying to figure out, and I talk about this so much, I feel like in general and probably on this pod as well, of like, where do we fit in late stage capitalism, right? And like, how do we find fulfillment and joy and money to survive in a system that is clearly not set up for us, right? Like, it's not clearly set up to protect us and provide for us, and still like protect ourselves, take care of ourselves, take care of our families, take care of our health, etc. So I love, there's a lot of voices. There's always so many voices of what we should do and how we should operate. The ways of the generations before us don't work now. So I love that idea of being able to use magic, use spirituality, use meditation and spiritual wellness and mental wellness to like work through those. And it seems like you found a path. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's been really refreshing, and also to see the reception that I've gotten from the people in my life and being connected to new fun folks that get to try my bakes and just reinforce that I've made the right decision. And it makes all the, difficult days very worth it because I know I'm on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I wanted to ask, like, how has it been going? Like, how have these first few months been? Being a business owner is hard work, I'm sure. Like, it's not an easy climb, but, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling very hopeful. It's a lot of work. It's either a lot of work or it's dry. And when it's dry, I'm panicked. And then when it's a lot of work, I'm like, I did this to myself. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. But yeah, it's been a nice, steady burn. I'm truly shocked at the amount of people that I've been able to bake for in this short amount of time. I thought it was just going to be like, well, I make a cake a month and that's just my life now.
Right.
But that hasn't been the case. I've had a lot of clients so far, and that's been really nice. Not so many where it's like, this is unbelievable, I'm a roaring success, but definitely
That's
enough
incredible.
to like give me assurance that I didn't just do something completely ridiculous.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. I'm so glad for you. That's like, yeah, as Kate correctly said, the world is difficult right now, and I feel like a lot of us are feeling that, like, what are we gonna do with our lives?
Yeah.
I feel like I was gonna come in hot on this podcast talking about how I feel like on some level the pandemic just like broke the part of my brain that was able to like care about things in the same way. Like, I care about my friends and my family, but like I literally could not give I hope none of my like clients hear this, but like I could not give less of a shit about work. Like, I want to get it right, I want to do it for them, but like if I miss a deadline, I mean, I'll tell them in advance. Like, but it's like I'm not gonna like hurt myself to do a blog, like or whatever. Like, it's, if something's going on, it's going on, and I don't care anymore. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like that's.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends have been expressing similar like antsiness about like their role in the world and like what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. And so good for you for like breaking out of it and like finding something to do that's really meaningful and cool and where you get to like bake for people, which is like a
and it brings you
thing.
joy. Yeah. Well, I think like we've been in survival mode since 2020, really, and I don't think we've come out of it, and I don't think people are like realizing that. I don't think it's we want to act like we're all normal again and it's back, or the new normal, or whatever that means. I know corporate America and capitalism would love to, I think, pretend that everything's normal again, but I don't think we have. And I think a lot of us, have taken stock of what really matters and what's really truly important after such hardship and loss that a lot of us have experienced. And, I think our generations and the younger generations are really, valuing our free time, our pleasure, our families. It's not about the grind. It's not about working 80 hours a week. It's not about looking out for your career, because we've all been burned so much. We've been burned out and burned by our employers and by the businesses. We know that we're not going to be protected, by our job. So why would we give more? We need to look out for ourselves. So I love that you found something that brings you joy, that you can also get money from. And that's, I think, the best solution. And I think a lot of people are looking for that, for sure. I love that.
Yeah.
And you went about it in a witchy way. You used your spirituality, I think, to hone in on that path, which is amazing.
Yeah, it definitely helped clear out the muck to get to this place a lot more succinctly. I mean, it wasn't that succinct. It took years, but
yeah.
Now that I'm on this side of it, it feels like everything happened very quickly, but those seeds were planted in like 2021, and it just kind of took all this time to germinate and, start sprouting.
Absolutely. That's the hardest part, I think, is like figuring out what it is you want to do. Like, that is always the hardest part of the journey. It's like, who am I? Where do I want to go? What is the next step? What is my big project? What is my passion? And then, like you said, the dominoes start falling into place. Like when you do find your alignment, your best path, like when you are in line with the universe and your highest calling and your best vibration, whatever woo-woo words you want to use, I feel like, everything starts clicking into place. But getting to that place is the hardest part. It's the hardest part, I think.
Totally. Now, I have a question for you. Would you like to draw a card?
Yeah!
You're on the same page? You're on the same wavelength as me, Em?
Always. So you have, it looks like the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Is that true?
I was like,
beautiful.
We love it.
This deck should be a classic deck.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Get fun after that.
We love a classic.
I love shuffling. Okay. We got the Fool.
The Fool! Oh, it's so perfect because it's the beginning of a journey.
Yes.
Perfect.
That's, yeah.
Well done.
Keep that out.
That's amazing. Oh, that's just a perfect card.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, and I mean, maybe it's for our listeners, but like also that's, yeah, it makes perfect sense with what we're talking about here, but it's like, you know, so the Fool, you might recall, dear Witchcast listeners, is the first card in the Major Arcana, and it is like you can kind of think of the Major Arcana as the Fool going through like a journey, like he's on his little hero's journey. So when you get the Fool, it's usually like this, that you're at the beginning of something and that you're like moving forward with like, you know, curiosity and an open heart, and like you're about to learn a bunch of stuff, and it's, you know, I mean, it can mean a lot of other things too, but that's, you know, that's sort of the, I feel like the classic interpretation, right?
This was a very appropriate card.
Right. Yeah.
So appropriate. Aaron, what does the Fool resonate for you?
Exactly what you said. Again, I would have to be Googling that. So I'm like, the Fool, what does the Fool mean? What does the Fool mean? But I connect a lot with being at the beginning of a journey. I'm in month 5 now, but this is still very new to me. Even today, I was trying out some new flavors for a cake. Yesterday and today I've been like messaging my husband. I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much inspiration. There are all these new flavor combinations that I want to try. I think I've been going about this all wrong. I've been making the wrong cakes. These are the cakes I need to be making. And today, the first day that I made one of those cakes that I was
Amazing.
like ranting about. So I definitely feel like I'm on a new leg of this journey, of the beginning of this journey, rethinking some of my business practices and what's coming next. So yeah, that definitely resonates with how I've been feeling the past 48 hours.
Nice. Amazing.
I love it. Yeah, she everyone's a she, sorry. Like she was right there ready for you. I just did a quick glimpse into Biddy Tarot, our one of our favorite resources. And another element of the Fool that I love that she mentions is the idea of like innocence and playfulness. So the idea of the Fool too, being Major Arcana, that this is also a big journey, right? Like this is not an Ace of Swords or Pentacles, which
this is your whole life.
This is like a bigger part, but it's also about embracing kind of the unknown and taking risks and throwing caution to the wind and quieting self-doubts. So Biddy mentions in her breakdown that like, you know, the Fool is that idea of innocence and gaiety and playfulness and just kind of, you know, experimentation and creativity and throwing caution to the wind. So I feel like that's totally in line with where you are energetically right now. And I think it's a really good lesson for all of our listeners and everyone, you know, to kind of embrace that idea and that mentality of taking risks, of thinking outside the box, you know, of getting yourself outside of a rut and taking time. The action is now. Of like, if you have an idea or a project or something you want to get off the ground, even if it's not fully formed yet, start throwing that spaghetti against the wall.
Do a little candle magic, set some intentions.
Take Aaron's lead and do a little meditation, quiet those other voices and see what comes through. I think that's always something good to practice.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, this was a blast.
Yeah, this is so lovely. I feel so like inspired and like centered. Aaron, how can folks remind us again how they can follow your bakery, but then also how can they find you?
So you can follow my bakery on Instagram at Le Fruity Baker. That's at LEFROOTY Baker. And then you can follow me at A Porchia, APORCHIA, also on Instagram.
Amazing. And remind us, they can place orders for your delicious baked goods on Instagram via DMs. And how else?
And then also via email. So
via email.
fruitybaker@gmail.com. I'm currently working on a website. It's a day at a time.
Hey, one day at a time. One day at a time. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. And you can follow us at Witchcast Podcast on Instagram. We will be tagging Aaron as well as his bakery account on our Instagram, as well as listing all of these links on our website at witchcastpodcast.com. So if you want to check out Aaron and his baked goods, please do, at witchcastpodcast.com. And you can also shoot us an email if you have any feedback or, you know, want to leave us a note at witchcastpodcast.
Big feelings, anything.
Yeah. If suggestions for future episodes, you know, positive vibes, please.
Messages you've received from us and need to urgently pass along.
Yeah, exactly. At witchcastpodcast@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined, we'd love a little rating, a little review.
Ooh, wow. You could totally leave that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you were feeling like it while you're out there on the internet. Why
Absolutely.
not?
Yeah.
It only takes a second, helps other people find us, and also, it feels good for all of us. So
yeah, it means a lot to us.
You
did. That would be so nice. And until next time,
Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.